Hello everyone, welcome to the Gentlemen Scholars Club. As you can probably guess from what I am wearing here today, the topic is cricket sweaters, also known as cricket jumpers in Great Britain, tennis sweaters in North America. Also seen them referred to as rugby sweaters, which I believe is incorrect. I'll be sharing with you today some of the background of this particular kind of sweater, some of the challenges that can arise if you try to style them and wear them, and also give you some tips on how I like to wear them myself. Stay tuned. So for many things, from cabbages to kings, it's often useful to learn the origins in order to fully understand the nature of the thing. With the cricket sweater or cricket jumper, you would think the origins would be straightforward given the name, right? It's either tennis or cricket. However, the history and the origins are more muddy than that. As the Gentleman's Gazette explains, it's likely that the cricket sweater originated more on the ski slopes than on the cricket pitch. And then in the early 20th century, it was popularized on the links with golf, again, more than cricket. This reminds me of the polo shirt, which, despite its connections to polo, is more popular with tennis and golf as well. Regardless of its exact connections, it's definitely associated with sport, and in particular, sports of the upper middle class and the upper classes. Well, the aforementioned sports having those attributes. Today, you're most likely to encounter the cricket sweater on an actual cricket pitch in the UK and the Commonwealth, wherever cricket is played, more so than in tennis. This is because cricket, by definition, is more of a slow-paced sport. It also takes place in British weather, notorious British summertime, where conditions can change, where things are not super warm and sunny. So it's more likely you'll wear it there than you would on a tennis court where you'd be sweating bricks due to the exertion involved in playing tennis. So tennis-wise, I would say between sets, between matches or something like that in the clubhouse, whereas with cricket, you could actually wear a cricket sweater while engaged in the activity itself. So let us go back as well to defining what a cricket sweater is, what it looks like. Traditionally, it is white or off-white. I would say creamy because it's very difficult to dye wool or cotton to a really pure white, especially in knitwear. It has a deep V-neck, as you can see here, and it has colored bands around the V, either one or multiple. It has been said that cricket sweaters don't have to have these colored bands, but I would say they're a pretty strong defining feature, and usually they would have these colored bands. By the same token, those bands are one of the reasons why it might be difficult to style a cricket sweater. It has the cable knit pattern to it, so you have the large links in the knitting of the sweater. That's also another feature. It can be long-sleeved. I've seen short-sleeve versions, and then the sleeveless kind. Sleeveless kind is kind of like a tennis vest or a cricket vest, sweater vest, if you want to call it that. But traditionally long-sleeved, and when it has long sleeves, there are also bands around the wrist, around the cuffs, and there are bands, in any case, around the hem at the bottom, where your waist is, or toward under the bottom of the sweater. As I mentioned earlier, cricket sweater can come in either cotton or wool. Wool for colder weather, cotton for kind of the shoulder season, and I actually find the cricket sweater is really useful this time of year. So sort of winter transitioning to spring, spring transitioning to summer, when it's still a bit crisp, it's still a bit chilly. Cotton sweater is ideal for that. So I like the cricket sweater under those conditions. In the winter time, maybe the wool is good, but the fact that it's white and bright makes it challenging to wear in the winter time, similar to wearing white pants, white trousers after Labor Day, as the old rule used to say. You can wear it, you can wear winter white for sure, but probably on sunny blue sky days in winter. So my personal preference is the cotton cricket sweater worn in the shoulder season and the transitional season. So looking at those traditional attributes, find that some of them are necessary to define the cricket sweater, whereas others vary. I would say absolutely necessary would be the deep V-neck and cable knitting. So kind of a chunky wide cable, and then the deep V-neck, deeper than you'd find on a normal, standard V-neck sweater, V-neck pullover. Other than that, the color can vary. You can find these in beige or tan. See them in charcoal, sort of the reverse of what I'm wearing, navy with white around the neck, greens, grays, almost anything goes in that regard. But they would always be cable knit, and they would always have the deep V. Regarding the bands, some have said that you don't need to have bands for a cricket sweater. I personally think that they're a defining feature. You can have either one color, as I have here with navy, or you can have multiple colors as well. And those colors were supposed to originally define one's club, what cricket club you were with, even one's national team, if it was a national cricket team or something like that. But there would be color around the neck. The color is also a reason why the cricket sweater can be challenging to wear, and I'll get back to that a little bit later in the video. Cricket sweater also has a number of strong associations that people would also be aware of. Obviously, the uniform of a particular sport might come to mind depending on where you are. If you wear it with all white, white shirt, white trousers or cream flannels or something like that as pants, you may get some ribbing and some joking, people saying that you've just come from a match or something like that. In the United States, you might be seen more along the lines of wearing a preppy uniform, like you just came out of a Ralph Lauren photo shoot. Cricket sweater, especially if you wear it with a button-down shirt, certain kind of chinos, moccasins, you look like you're very much trying to do a preppy uniform, like you're going to spend the weekend in the Hamptons, that you're aiming for kind of a WASP style. So if that's what you're going for, if that's your thing, then again, fine, but be cognizant, be aware that that can be a strong association with the cricket sweater too. So what do you do if you want to avoid these? You want to dress the cricket sweater in such a way that downplays these associations and still looks sharp, still keeps it in the realm of classic styling. Obviously, you can do very casual things with a cricket sweater, but that's not the purpose of this channel. So I'm going to talk more about kind of keeping the cricket sweater elevated, but avoiding certain connotations and associations and making it easier for you to wear. The first time I saw the cricket sweater, and really came to my attention anyway, was at Paul Mannen, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's the Dutch menswear boutique, and they had it under a sport coat. So it was a cream, the traditional color, with a navy blue band around the neck, and then a navy sport coat over the top. So that's one of my favorite ways to wear it. Thinking about putting something over the top of it to kind of beat it back and make it less dominant. It's especially true if you're wearing all white. You can do white or off-white trousers, you can do the cricket sweater, and then put navy blue over the top, or another color. And there you can play with the color of the band and use a sport coat that coordinates with the band color. If you want to be more casual, you can put another kind of jacket over the top of it as well. But again, look at that band. It gives you some opportunities to play with color. If you have a band with two colors on it, you have even more chances to coordinate. The second thing you can do if you're thinking of wearing cream flannels or white trousers is to put a different colored shirt on, like powder blue. That's a great choice. The white cricket sweater, navy blue band, or whatever other color, and then the powder blue shirt underneath with white trousers. So you're breaking up that sport, the cricket sport connection by mixing in another color there. And then you can try other colors as well. The third thing you can do is try the cricket sweater with a white shirt, but change the color of your trousers. Almost anything will do in that department. Jeans, mid-blue jeans work nicely with a navy blue like I have here. You can try various chinos, beige, navy blue. I like to do this particularly with a white shirt, this sweater, and then navy blue trousers, dress trousers. So those are all ways of toning it down and still looking sharp. And then in terms of the color of the bands, get ones that do coordinate with what you have in mind. So if the traditional colors of the band around the neck used to be navy and maroon, you have lots of opportunity there. You can do gray, you can do navy, you can do things in maroon with it. If you're wearing one that has green and yellow, it might be trickier, right? So if you don't have any sort of affiliation with a team where you don't need the colors, no connection to a particular school or cricket club, choose band colors that work with the rest of your outfit and what you want to do there. If you really don't want to worry about it, you want to make things easier, then avoid the white altogether, because white is a strong color on top. It's a dominant color as a jacket or as knitwear. So choose something like a beige, go with a navy. Those are more subdued. you have more opportunities there to combine things. Back to the band, take a look at the thickness of the band as well as the colors that are done there. Traditionally, the band colors were navy blue and maroon. Those can be paired pretty well with different things, but if you have colors that are unusual, it can be trickier and also more visually arresting, more attention getting. So choose the colors appropriately, and then you might want to go with one color as opposed to two. But if you want to combine things, then try two, but colors that work for you. The bands can also be different widths. This one is pretty thin. Some of them are very thick, like an inch thick. So that is also more dominant, making you look like you're wearing the Presidential Medal of Honor, which draws a lot of attention to this area. So determine whether you want to do that or you want to go with a thinner band. It's possible to wear the cricket sweater with a tie. I haven't done that yet. But a deep V obviously calls attention to this area, so if you have a nice tie that coordinates with the colors of the bands, that is also an option to try out. And then you can put a jacket over the top to round out the look. I personally prefer to wear the open collar. As you know, if you watch my channel, open collar also creates this V of the shirt, which is replicated by the V of the sweater. So an open collar that has a nice collar roll, a nice shape here, is very effective with the V of the cricket sweater. If you wear a tie, one thing you want to avoid is looking like you're Lord of the Manor. So be careful with that. Again, very strong possibilities of associating the cricket sweater with a particular social class, and usually you want to avoid that kind of connection. So are you going to try cricket sweaters? Do you own any? Let me know in the comments below. How would you wear it if you did have any? Comment and like the video. Follow us by subscribing at the Gentleman Scholars Club for more interesting discussions of menswear pieces, brands, and classic style. Thanks for viewing.